Hello, BookTube. Well, it's a bleak and barren Sunday once again. And that means for those of you who are new to the channel that there is no mail. There are no free books for Steve plopping through the slot in the front hall. And on top of that, I'm dealing with the endorphin deficit of having a friend leave, having an old friend who was company and who left. So I'm feeling in need of a pick-me-up. And when I am that way, I go for a tag. And I have a really good one. I have one that was created by J.D. Estrada, and I saw it on the Bald Book Geeks great channel, and I was also tagged by him. It's the BookTube wish list tag. And I thought we'd go right into it here. It's question number 1 is, realistically, how many subscribers do you wish you had by year's end? And my first response to this is, it depends on the subscribers. I don't want a crowd of bullies, and I don't want a crowd of, clickbait morons. Right now, I have the best subscribers in the world. We argue with each other, we disagree with each other, we make fun of each other, we support each other, we listen to each other, we recommend things to each other. It's a ton of fun. This community is This community is a ton of fun. Something I had no idea was even possible, much less that would ever come my way. Something that, I hate to say it, but it's true, I actually ended up failing to explain to my old friend. I couldn't do it. The question in the established book review community seems to be stuck on, who do they write for? These people, who do they write for? I don't know these names. So, if I could have 10,000 subscribers like that, I'd take them in a heartbeat. But I don't think there are 10,000 subscribers like that. I think if you go to let's not talk about the rest of YouTube. Let's just say the bigger BookTube channels. People have 100,000 subscribers. There can't possibly be 100,000 people watching them with intent, involved interest. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it would happen. One of you could probably go through their viewer analytics better than I could, but I'd be willing to bet that there's nowhere near the level of involvement that they would get if they had 2,000 subscribers. So I'm okay with any number, provided the number is, a fun group like the one we've got now. I don't want it to get so big that I've got all of a sudden, 10,000 people telling me, don't do that kind of video. We don't like it. Anyway, I didn't mean to start an argument on the very first question. Let's move on to number 2 and maybe smoother sailing. Who would you wish watched your channel? And we get back here to the comment I was making just a minute ago. It's not so much my channel as it is everybody. All the good, the BookTube 2.0, so to speak. All the really good BookTube channels. The people I would want to watch them would be people like my old friend, would be the literary review and reader establishment, the non-BookTube crowd who just doesn't see BookTube. They don't see it. It's just not on their radar at all. And not just in the review community, but also some authors and also some publishers and publicists. They're the ones I wish could just watch, like for instance, look over my shoulder and watch a week in my BookTube feed and see if you don't see real readers. See if you don't see real discriminating authors and audiences. This is a place where living, breathing, real book communication happens. And I wish these people knew that, because they claim to be in that world. They claim that that's their only world. And there's a whole chunk of it that they just don't see. They just think it's, I don't even know, video game ride-alongs. I don't know. I tried my hardest, and I will keep trying. But let's see. Question number 3. What do you want to do with your channel? I don't have much in the way of ambition with my channel. Again, I'm not restricting it to my channel alone. What I would like to do with BookTube, I have ideas. I have dreams for BookTube. Things to connect us all a little stronger. Things to make our connections more immediate, and to make the connections themselves more of a part of the viewership, I guess. I'm not even sure technologically what I'm talking about. There isn't a bulletin board for BookTube. There isn't an open channel. It's all very individualized, and that's good. That's a strength, but that also has weaknesses. So, like for instance, I've lost count of how many times I will get into some sort of great back and forth with other people, other booktubers on Twitter about BookTube, about books, and a whole bunch of people that I know would be interested in it simply don't know that it's happening because it's on another channel, it's on another venue, another site, or on BookTube itself. You know, there's all sorts of connectivity that doesn't happen. It's such a headache for us to have split screen, multi-split screen, these Google Hangouts. How many of them I tuned in to watch at the time they're announced, and for the first 15 minutes are everybody having technical difficulties? That's not very attractive, and it's not very inviting either for those of us who aren't very technical. I don't know. There's no one place that I can simply go and say, for instance, I'm sorry, you know, all 2,000 of you, but I have company. I'm not going to be making a video today. I could put it on a comment of a video, my last video, but who knows if anybody's seeing that. I could put it on Twitter, but who knows how many people are seeing that versus... I'll figure it out. I'll figure out what I want to happen, and then I'll bombard the technical-oriented of you with demands to make it happen. In the meantime, question number 4. What impact do you wish your content had? What impact do you wish your content had? And my first reaction to this question was to growl, because I don't make content, I make videos. This isn't a legal deposition. Being vague and using business speak doesn't get anywhere. It only does harm. I don't make content, I make videos. So what impact do I wish my videos had? Again, it's not so much my videos alone. The only thing that came to mind, the first thing that came to mind when I thought about this was, and certainly it's a thing I try to encourage in these videos, but I think a lot of people do, and that's what I would hope would happen. I think it is happening, which is an appeal to breadth, an appeal to broaden the spectrum of the things represented, the things talked about and enthused about on BookTube, to broaden that spectrum, to knock it open just as wide as there are readers in the world. That's the impact that I would like to see happen in BookTube in 2016, 2017, 2018. I'd like to see BookTube start to reflect more the world of readers rather than what it represented for its first 6 years, which was the world of extremely manic, enthusiastic, adult YA readers. Now that's a part of reading, definitely. All parts are a part of reading, but when I first saw that, I thought, well, this is a little weird. It's not even a little morbid. This is a tiny fraction of 1% of the readers that are out there. So why is this the whole of BookTube? And over time, that as more people realize that the water's fine and you can jump right in, that is changing and broadening, and I'd like to see that continue very much so. I'd like to come. I don't know why. In 2019, I would like to look at BookTube and see a very accurate representation of the weird, wild, wide open world of books. And I feel certain that I will. I will certainly do my part. Let's see here. Question number 5. If your channel were broadcast into space and intercepted by alien life forms, what would you say? And I'm afraid I cannot tell a lie. I am not going to lie about the answer to this question, but I am going to have to, for my answer, I'm going to have to drop out of the general levity and be completely serious for a moment. Because if I got this chance, there is something I would say. I would say it immediately. I would say it without hesitation. And it's my only answer to this question. I don't have a fun answer like, oh, don't judge us by Donald Trump or anything like that. If I met those aliens, of course, the implication of the question is that they are technologically superior to humans. And I would say only one thing to them. Do a gene scan of the planet and eliminate humans. Conduct a genocide on Homo sapiens sapiens. Homo sapiens sapiens, modern humans, are a damaged species. They are a genetically warped species. And if you allow them to continue, they'll kill you. It's as simple as that. They'll kill everything else here. They'll kill everything on this planet, and then they'll kill you. Homo sapiens sapiens grew its brain too fast, underwent a few other genetic modifications too fast, and as a result is a defective species with a taste for genocide. And the only solution is to wipe it out. There's absolutely no good in picking and choosing, because if you pick and choose and you still have a breeding population, the first generation of children will also have the gene for genocide. So even though it would mean, if I were alive, it would mean my own death and the death of everyone I know and love, it would mean the death of all the good people I know, I would still instantly tell such an alien species, do a gene scan of the planet, lock on Homo sapiens sapiens, and eliminate them completely. Do the rest of the galaxy a favor and exterminate this species. And now that we're done with that, that ultimate Debbie Downer, we'll move back to the fun answers. We'll go right on to the next question. Question number 6. If you were granted one wish to impact all trolls, what would it be? I'm resisting the impulse here to growl again and say that my wish would be that everyone stop using the word impact as a verb. Instead, I'll just refer you back to the Bald Book Geeks video, because his answer was absolutely perfect. Grow up. Get out of your mother's basement. Stop getting off on pantsing people. You're wasting the only life you have doing that sort of thing. There's no other thing you can do it, but of course, the thing he didn't stress, but that I stress, is that the one thing you absolutely must not do is ever say that to a troll. They live for response. They live for it. They feed off it. If you give it to them, you are making them stronger. The old YouTube adage that I used to make fun of as elitist is absolutely true. Don't feed the trolls. Don't do it. I'm very glad that just recently the larger world seemed to learn that lesson, at least temporarily, when it came to someone who described himself as a professional troll, Milo Yiannopoulos, who in one day lost his high-profile Republican speaking gig, his extremely lucrative book contract, and his sinecure at Breitbart. In one day, he lost all the attention he was getting. Now, he can get up in front of a news conference and act like Joan of Arc and say, I've been knocked down before, this won't keep me down, I have things to do, I have beliefs. But he doesn't. He's just a troll. Trolls don't have beliefs. All he wants is attention. He'll do anything to get it. And it's now much harder. He'll have to claw his way up from a zero state of attention. And if the world could do that just in general, with all trolls, that would be very nice. Of course, that would mean we'd have a different president here in the United States, so it would be a completely different world. But you never know. These things can be learned, even with baby steps. Boy, it's a roller coaster ride of a tag, isn't it? Let's move on. We're almost done. Question number 7. What do you wish to improve on your channel? That would imply there's something wrong with this channel, wouldn't there? You go to the Louvre and wonder how you can improve the Mona Lisa, do you? I have the hair. I have the clothing. I have the lighting. I have the background. I have the skills to pay the bills. If you can find something to improve in all this... Question number 8. What experience would you wish to allow others to feel? It was a very, very strange question. We go from BookTube and bookish type questions to this kind of Teresa of Avila ecstasy moment. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. What experience do I wish others to feel? I'm assuming the question is not just all of life. I'm assuming the question refers to books. Doesn't it, right? I mean, what am I supposed to say here? The feel of running your hands over a 8% body fat 8-pack? It's a nice feeling, but I'm not sure I wish everybody should have it, and it has nothing to do with a BookTube channel. I guess when it comes to books, if we restrict it to books, I would go back to the question of breadth. I'd go back to the question of a broad spectrum. That's what I'd like all book readers to feel. The confidence to just read anything. And that confidence comes from a small amount of reading preparation, which you can do. So it's not outside the realm of possibility the way, for instance, running your hand over a nice cheese grater abs would. Not everybody has the access to do that, but you can develop the confidence that you need to read anything at all. You can do that. It's not hard. In fact, in the year 2017, it's easier than it's ever been. And of course, I'd be happy to help. So that if I could have readers experience that, that's what I'd like. Because a lot of times when I look at a BookTube channel, I see somebody enthusing about the latest, for instance, the latest paperback of urban fantasy. Behind their enthusiasm, sometimes, way in the background, I can hear the skittering of fear. That I'm enthusing about these books. I read every single one of them, not just not exclusively 100% because I love it, but also because I'm a little afraid to leave this pond. I know this pond. I'm a little apprehensive about going somewhere else. Sometimes I see that in booktubers, and before BookTube, I've seen it plenty of times in readers, and I always want to say, you know, it is an awkward feeling. It's a rotten feeling to be at the bottom learning something from scratch, but boy, is it worth it. So broaden your horizons. I always want to say, but that would be my answer here. And then question number 9: what do you wish were easier about BookTube? And it's the same thing. It's the theme that's recurred here throughout, and that's connectivity. The sense of community. Everybody talks about how they love the sense of community on BookTube. BookTube newbies invariably mentioned. I mentioned it. And it's turned out to be true. The community is incredible, but the community is very insular and very... It's almost like there are 10,000 great communities instead of one. And I wish there were more of one. I wish that YouTube as a platform, if we're all going to stay here, I wish that YouTube as a platform made that easier. I wish, for instance, you could post response videos inside the comments field of a video so that you don't have to... I mean, I know that people would probably not want to do that anyway because they'd want traffic to their own channel. But a lot of the booktubers that I know don't so much care about that. We're more friends than we are competitors. We're more interested in the dialogue. I certainly am. I would love that option. And Hangouts and, you know, a bunch of other stuff like that. I feel certain that it will all come. That it will all either on YouTube or on some other platform. I feel certain that that sort of element will grow stronger with time. But I wish that it were stronger now because it's my favorite part. And then there's question number 10. Who do you tag? And you already know this. I tag you all. I tag all my usuals. I tag Britt. I'd love to hear your answers. Or Jess at Garden Scriptorium, or Jen, or Today in Jen's Library, or Reading with Pugs, or Britta. I'd love to hear your answers. What is your BookTube wish list? You probably all have different ones, and it would all be fascinating. This is the type of tag that I often mention, that is a reflection of the stuff I would ask you if you all came to Boston and we all sat down at a meal. These are the sorts of things we'd talk about. So I, of course, want to hear all your answers, everybody. If I haven't named you, you all know who you are. You all know who our little group here. It's not all that little anymore, which is great. Do this tag, absolutely. Richard Bruna, Indian Insomniac, Cam, if you... Ben Sanders. I want to hear it all. I want to hear all your answers. And that's it. And that is the BookTube wish list tag. The one wish that's left out of the tag writer J.D. Estrada did not think to include it. Of course, was foremost on my mind, which is that I wish there were mail on Sunday. But I'll survive. And I'll see you soon, BookTube. Thank you.